You hug me, you're gonna go sleep early. Be a man, fight. Don't hug me, fight. I talk when I sleep.
It's a talker, you know what I mean? You know, everybody's thinking you're one of the best. I am the best. You know, I'm tired of this, so who's real heavyweight champion? It's right here.
The year is 2005. James Toney has been trekking a dangerous road known as the heavyweight division after years of being a middleweight, super middleweight, and cruiserweight champion.
And if I remember correctly, you said you'd fight Lewis at 210 with one hand tied behind your back, right?
Hey, hold on, dog. Hey, we can go right now.
After a strong batch of showings against an old but still bold Evander Holyfield, Toney finally has a shot at a title against the two-time champion John Ruiz in an extraordinary showdown that could and would alter the course of their legacies forever.
Is there a certain amount of resentment over the whole process, or do you have to kind of put that aside?
I'm looking forward to bigger and better things, and whatever happens, happens.
So, does the quiet man have what it takes to give this self-proclaimed indestructible fighter some humble pie? Or will Ruiz go from a quiet man to a silent man when James Lights Out Toney lives up to his alias? Let's get into it. James Toney was an anomaly in boxing, much like his constant competitor and rival Roy Jones Jr. Both had an innate ability to make their opponents look stupid, dominate whatever division they felt like fighting in at ease, and win titles like it was as easy as waking up.
That's why he's the young master.
James, I'm sure you're aware of this fight between Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank. Are you watching it with interest?
I don't care who wins, and I'll fight either one of them. I mean, I'll fight both of them on the same night if they want to.
Toney was a threat in the middleweight division for years and terrified everyone who happened to share his weight class. And growing up as a dealer while having incredible football skills and a dysfunctional family seemed to blend to make a horrific tale become something beautiful.
10-round decision. Oh!
If I see my father, you know, it's like only one thing will happen. He got because, you know, the way he treated my mother.
Many legends of boxing had horrible home lives. Mike Tyson, Johnny Tapia, and Toney's rival Roy Jones Jr. spring to mind. And that coldness and feeling of being alone seemed to be a driving force in what makes many of the best boxers become so marvelous.
Have you ever seen James Toney talk while he spars?
No.
It's some of the most entertaining thing you'll ever find on YouTube.
Boxing is about learning your craft. I'm teaching you guys how to learn your craft. I'm gonna show you. Everybody how boxing supposed to be done. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Come on.
Well, when he come Puerto Rican, I'm Mexican.
I'm busting you up, boy.
So, as already established, Toney was an anomaly, a scary man with a dark past, yet a genuine aura and charisma when necessary. Those characteristics alone made him a character worth watching. But when getting to 44-0 with such great wins as the undefeated Michael Nunn, Mike McCallum, and Iran Barkley, he was impossible to look away from and not root for on some level.
You haven't exactly said the nicest things about Roy Jones in private. Exactly what is it you dislike about Roy?
Well, like I said, he stepped up to challenge me. Anybody challenge me, guys get dogged out.
But after over a decade of domination and destruction, this great giant tumbled like almost all other heroes.
I said, Jackie, I don't want to hear no more about no 168. Right now I'm the boss. I'm in control of everything. Nobody can do nothing but me. James is calling the shots. I'm going to do what I want to do.
And unlike most, he found himself rising again like a phoenix from the ashes, slowly but surely building himself up again to take the world by storm.
He's gonna regret of ever signing the contract. I'm the best out there. This ain't no turning point. This is just a stepping stone for me to achieve greatness and become the undisputed heavyweight champion. That's all it is.
Tony the phony.
Hello, James.
I'm starting to realize he bit off a little bit more than he can chew. You know, Johnny knows how to fight, man, and he's in for it.
John Ruiz was a fighter who simultaneously had incredible fortune and misfortune throughout his career. He had a rough opening professionally, with 2 losses in his first 20 fights by highly controversial split decision losses.
98-94. I mean, he made a good effort, but that's not right.
It seemed the world wouldn't give old John a break, And this was only further incentivized when Ruiz was matched up against the undefeated monster David Tua.
Hard left hand by Tua, rocked in the first 20 seconds of the bout, and it's unlikely he'll be getting up.
But this fight was an undeniable turning point for Ruiz, as this was the day he refused to lie down and take any more beatings, smashing some talented contenders and champions of old.
Championship fight that has lapsed into a battle of head-clashing elbows and low blows. Down goes Holyfield!
And the new heavyweight champion of the world.
I was coming for what belongs to me, and that's the belt, and I'm coming home with it.
And as if to keep the rivalry alive, after winning his title back against Hasim Rahman, Ruiz is giving Toney a shot to even the score with Roy Jones as a 4-weight world champion and prove himself just as capable in the heaviest league of pugilism.
The way I'm gonna beat Ruiz is the way every fight should go out and do it. Knock him out, beat him down.
Fight night arrived on April 30th, 2005. As the two men come in to touch gloves, Ruiz lives up to his nickname as the Quiet Man, but he fails to look into Toney's concentrated, sterile gaze.
Round one begins. One of Toney's greatest abilities, Roy Jones, is to duck, slip, and avoid punches with his head. He really likes to fight way inside. He likes to fight somewhere in the middle. He lands a left to the body.
Toney landed a clean right hand. Let the guy wear himself down, then he lands the big shot.
Hard jab by Ruiz.
That was a right hand by Toney, actually. I kept making mention of it in articles, hoping that he'd read it, so that people would know that he's a good fighter for this division.
No hitting behind the head.
Steve Smoger warns John Ruiz for hitting behind the head. If there were no referee in the ring, and Ruiz repeatedly clinched and held you, what would be your remedy? He said, I'd throw him over the top rope into James showing his hand speed, and there's an abrasion on the middle of Ruiz's nose already. So he's able to land his right hand with regularity, just bringing it straight over the top. Now there's some hard body shots by Ruiz. He lands a left hand upstairs. Toney reaching with a right hand. Is he trying to be more crowd pleasing? They're trading shots here in round 3 of what is becoming a better than expected fight. A smile on Toney's face as he steps away. Hard right hand counter by James Toney.
So 2-1.
In the final minute of the round, some of Toney's signature speed and suaveness help him to land a crushing right counter that has John becoming complacent for the rest of the round.
Fighting a style that maybe favors James Toney.
With Toney closing the round out with some cocky charisma and dynamite defense.
The stiff jab into Toney's face, hammering Toney to the ribcage with a body punch.
Now John is moving his head a little lower like he usually does.
Ruiz begins to rotate his shoulders and move his head and still takes the right hand over the top from Toney. George Foreman in his second career. How did Foreman win a heavyweight championship at age 45? He had mastered the art of conserving his energy. It appears that John Ruiz simply takes it as a given that James Toney, a middleweight or a super middleweight, can't knock him out.
A serious damage with clean punches to the other.
I'm not surprised to see the punches that Toney's throwing and landing. I'm just amazed that Ruiz is letting his hands go as freely as he is and landing combinations the way he is.
Stoney.
Well, so far it's been the most aesthetically pleasing John Ruiz fight we've ever covered. CombiBox numbers in round 6, Ruiz 15 out of 52, Toney 12 out of 29. Here's the first knockdown of the fight.
Ruiz is claiming that Toney stepped on his foot.
He lulled him to sleep by coming out lethargically from the corner at the start of several rounds. This time he jumped out of there and knocked Ruiz on his butt. Ruiz
recovers from the knockdown well, but not well enough to avoid Toney's venomous hand speed and crafty footwork.
Another solid right hand by Toney. It's been a big round.
And that's good for James Toney. The other thing is that Ruiz seems to be fading a little now, but James seems to be getting better now. Yep, and this style he's fighting tonight, he's probably going to get knocked down again.
No knockdown.
And he's not going to win a fight like this, not against a former middleweight.
Oh, what a huge right hand by Toney there, which may or may not bother James. He's old school. Good right hand after the bell by James Toney. Since that time, Toney has gotten away with putting his foot on John Ruiz's foot, helping to accentuate a knockdown. Hard body punch by Ruiz.
James is not the fight he can relax on right there.
As round 9 comes down the stretch.
Can Ruiz change his tactic now for the last 3 or 4 rounds, Roy?
Of his power punches, and that is an extremely successful ratio.
Jim, in the last 6 rounds, I thought James Toney went for him with the power shots.
Well, of course, his first big splash was, big right hand by Ruiz, bigger right hand by Toney.
But he may have waited too long to start doing the old Ruiz. Good body shot.
And here comes Toney out of the mongoose crouch.
But Ruiz is dead exhausted with him, so it's not a problem. Just helps him absorb the punches. Oh, good shot.
Oh, what a big right hand.
After a solid second half of the bout from James Toney and the knockdown in the 7th, it seems that if James can secure the final round of the fight, he will become the undeniable WBA heavyweight champion of the world.
Last round, baby. Give me it all. Keep this kid away from. Just keep this jab on him.
1, 2, 3. Put the combinations back to set him jab, okay? All right? Come on, you're stronger than he is.
And like you said earlier in the previous fight, you got to dance with who you can with.
Ruiz lands a right hand and Toney backs up. Even in his 3 fights against Evander Holyfield, I don't think I ever saw John Ruiz reach this level of exhaustion.
Hands up, guys.
He could beat the majority of the top heavyweights because of his style.
So you're saying that Toney would beat the 6'7", 250-pound Vitaly Klitschko?
Most definitely.
I don't believe that, Roy.
And they rise in appreciation, or at least some of them do.
All to the winner by unanimous decision and new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, James Lights Out Toney.
You said before the fight that you wanted to do boxing a favor by subtracting John Ruiz and adding you. What did you mean by that?
I just wanted to beat him. Get rid of him. You guys want to see his dog box ass again. I'm pretty sure Don King's going to throw him in the trash can where he belongs. I don't know what Don got him in the first place.
Many are seen in different lights when discussing heavyweight champions. Some bright and vibrant, others harsh and cold. But Toney is always left out. Why, you ask? Because only 1 week later, a test was announced to have failed. Toney had been under the influence of nandrolone.
Well, I was taking prednisolone and to help heal the muscles for the kind of bicycle chair, and I put a cadaver in there in the healing process.
And while Toney still stays insistent on his innocence to this day, it's hard to call him a heavyweight champion with such a dark crown of thorns looming above the golden belt that made him so. The title was snatched away soon after the test, and the fight went from a UD win to a no contest, with Ruiz given his belt back. While James never managed to win a title again, his mark was left on 4 boxing divisions, with some of the most fantastic performances of the 90s and 2000s belonging to himself. So for his sake, we hope the failed test was an unfortunate accident. Still, either way, his impact will always be undeniable, with his personality being unforgettable and his body indestructible.
No, you never hurt me, man. I'm indestructible. Don't forget that when I'm ready, I'm indestructible, baby. I'll fight anybody out there, anywhere, anytime. Next!